Joanne or Curtis? Who will be evicted and who will rise to power and become the new head of household? Find out now on Big Brother Cheesecake 5 All-Stars. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 5 All-Stars. It's day 51 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week Rhonda was the head of household. She nominated Jonathan and Curtis for eviction, but Jonathan won the Diamond Power Veto in the Big Brother Yankee Swap Diamond Power Veto competition. He chose to use it on himself, and since it was Diamond, he chose Joanne to replace him on the chopping block, which means in just moments, Joanne or Curtis will be evicted, but will head to Redemple Temple, where they will have a second chance to come back into the game. Who will it be? We'll find out shortly. But first, house guests, as I mentioned on yesterday's episode, next week is a double eviction, which means that whoever wins head of household will get to nominate 4 house guests for eviction. There will then be a Topaz Power Veto competition, which 7 house guests will participate in. The head of household, the 4 nominees, and 2 players selected in a random draw. Whoever wins the Topaz Power Veto must use it to save one of the 4 nominees from the chopping block, leaving our final 3 nominees. The other house guests will then vote to evict one of the 3 nominees, and the 2 highest vote getters will be evicted. The Topaz Power Veto, while Topaz is a gem, it was really named after Topaz, who was known, of course, for her voting for Jillian by accident and the whole "Arissa, no!" moment, but Topaz also was evicted in a double eviction, so the name is fitting. And that, if you're reading between the lines, that means if you are not nominated for eviction right away, that means you are safe for the week, because there is no backdoor in a double eviction week. Prior to planning Big Brother Cheesecake way back when in 2017, I had 4 different scenarios of how to do a double eviction. And in season 3, because season 1 and 2 both had quitters, so I canceled the double eviction. Season 3, I used the 1 HOH 4 nominees Topaz Veto strategy or method, I guess. And I liked it so much that I kept it last season, and I'm keeping it again, and it's likely going to be the permanent one. The other ones were 1 HOH, 3 nominees, Golden Veto, 2 HOHs, 3 nominees, Golden Veto, 2 HOH, 4 nominees, Topaz Veto, but they all had some kind of con. Like with the Golden Veto, I don't think backdooring is fair in a double eviction, and with 2 HOHs and 4 nominees, that's a lot of votes, or 2 HOHs and 3 final nominees after one comes off. That's a lot of people not voting, and in the event of a tie, which HOH gets to break the tie? So I like this format. I think it works well. I know Krista, Nicole, Megan, and Brandon might disagree since they were the victims of the double eviction in the past 2 seasons. Well, more so Megan and Nicole, because Krista and Brandon were going to be on their way out anyway, I think, even if it was a single. So that is next week, a double eviction. And both of the evicted house guests will join whoever is evicted shortly on Redemple Temple, where 1 will stay and 2 will be permanently evicted and become the first 2 members of the jury. So if you're doing the math, the odds of returning back into the game for this week's evictee and next week's 2 evictees is 1 in 12, because they have to win in 1 in 3, then a 1 in 2, then a 1 in 2. 3 times 2 times 2 is 12. So 1 in 12. The house guest evicted 2 weeks from today has a 1 in 4 chance, because they only have to win twice. And the house guest evicted 3 weeks from today has a 50-50 or 1 in 2 chance, because they only have to win 1. Okay, so now it's time to get to the eviction. Joanne, Curtis, your house guests have cast their votes to evict. When I reveal the results of the eviction vote, the evicted house guests will have about 15 minutes to say his or her goodbyes and head to Redemple Temple, which is in the house, where they will await their next 2 competitors. Okay, here we go. By a vote of 7-1, Joanne, you are evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake 5 house. Joanne, as it is written, so it shall be done. You will always be an all-star. And you might still be the superstar. Because, Joanne, you are heading to Redemple Temple, where you will have a second chance in this game. You will stay there for 1 week, where you will then battle against the next two evicted house guests. Joanne, I think you did a phenomenal job this season. I'm so glad you came back. I don't know if you're 51 years old yet, or if that's past. You don't have to say, but you were evicted on day 51 in Season 2, and you were evicted on day 51 this season. But this season you will last until at least day 58, because you're going to be in the house for another week. Even though, technically, I mean, you're still technically in the game, your placement was slightly lower, because you were 9th in Season 2, and if you were to lose next week, you would be 11th. But I think you had a better showing this time. I think you made more connections. I think you won a competition. You did something with that HOH. You got your redemption. I think you did a good job. And I get the sense that you had a better time this season than the last. Because, of course, Season 2 was crazy. Crazy good for me, but crazy for Joanne. So, yeah. So, thank you for playing. And you never know. Maybe you'll get a second chance. Okay, now it's time to get to the Head of Household competition. Free from the threat of eviction, the Head of Household wins the perks of his or her private HOH bedroom and bathroom, a fruit basket with Arby's, a letter from home, and the responsibility of nominating 4 of his or her fellow house guests for eviction. Rhonda, as outgoing head of household, normally you would not compete. However, in a double eviction, the outgoing head of household does compete because they did not know it was coming. This week's head of household competition was, of course, called Big Brother Decagon, where the house guests were standing on opposite corners of a decagon and had to essentially pass a turn to each other in an endurance competition to see who would last the longest. And I can tell you, it lasted for 19 hours. Very, very impressive. Okay, is everybody ready? Then let's begin. Okay, first up, well, I drew the name Chad, and I told Chad very specifically, because he asked me what was going on because he didn't see the video yet. I said, you have to type cock, clock, or cross in lowercase letters, any one. He typed clock, C, capital C, L-O-C-K. And he was eliminated right away. He was not happy, and he spammed the group chat with some, like, mob mentality, whatever message. But yes, he was eliminated. The next house guest who was eliminated was Curtis at around noon. 2 hours in, he was, I think, sleeping, and he missed his turn. So Curtis and Chad are eliminated. The next house guest eliminated, which was hours later, probably around 7 o'clock, was Joanne. It was her turn, and she posted a gif of a kitty, which is a cute kitty, but unfortunately cost you the game. Then 2 hours later, as typing in cock in capitals, when it was supposed to be in lowercase, was Kat, who got distracted watching TV. The next house guest eliminated was, much later at 2:10 a.m., was Rhonda, who said, "To all you wonderful night owls, I must say goodnight to everybody. It's my responsibility to get my passengers from point A to point B safely. I don't feel I can honestly do that without proper sleep. So good night, and may the best player win. It's been a slice." So Rhonda was eliminated next. This leaves Eitan, Jojo, Jonathan, Chantel, Brazil. The next house guest eliminated at 4:24 a.m. after we started at 10 a.m. was Eitan, who said, I threw up about 5 minutes ago. I need to sleep. This is exhausting. I need to sleep. Y'all are some hungry bitches, like my ex-wife, Cheryl. So Eitan is eliminated. This leaves Nicole, Brazil, Jonathan, Jojo. The next house guest eliminated at 5:16 a.m. typing sucker was Nicole. Nicole is eliminated. We are down to Jonathan, Chantel, and Jojo. The next house guest eliminated. I actually made a mistake. It was not Nicole. Sorry. At 5:14 a.m. was Jojo, who also typed sucker. Jojo is eliminated. So now it's down to Jonathan and Chantel, and after almost exactly 19 hours, because we started, just about exactly 19 hours, Jonathan types mother sucker, which means Chantel. Congratulations, you are the new head of household. You have won 60 All-Star dollars, taking you up to, I believe, 111. You also are the first two-time head of household this season, and you are the HOH in a double eviction, which means you have made the final 8, or the fake final 8, I guess. And so please, I need your nominations privately by Thursday night, tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and of course a reason why for all of them. What will the veto wheel land on, as there are 3 special vetoes remaining, one of which will be won in this weekend's Power Veto competition. Friday, who will Chantel nominate for Eviction, and we'll pick players for the Topaz Power Veto competition. Saturday is the Topaz Power Veto rules to an all-new Power Veto competition. Sunday is the Topaz Power Veto results. Monday, the Topaz Power Veto ceremony. Tuesday, the final 3 nominees plead their case. And Wednesday is the next live eviction and head of household competition, where 2 house guests will be evicted, but will join Joanne, where one of the 3 will have a second shot to stay in the game. I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Take care, and remember, Jonathan is cute. Good night.